been assaulted last week by some Muslim people doing their dawah, and they asked me to come to support them, and I was very worried, but I didn't want to bring this up because I don't.
Do you feel safe in front of us?
I do feel safe, but I don't feel safe about Sharia because I looked into it and I tried to talk to somebody at Speaker's Corner and he kept throwing a red herring.
The problem is...
I treat it as an ideology.
Voglio parlarti un attimo. Tu sei italiano? Sì, parlo italiano.
Aspetta
che ti devo dire una cosa.
You speak Italian. You have to test her. She don't answer your question. He's just she cries.
No.
She feel.
No problem.
No, but he takes his time. Maybe other people want to talk to you, but they see you busy. They feel shy and they go.
Possibly. Got some dirt here.
I am sorry to interrupt. Maybe I don't know also to interrupt in the best manner. But
you know one thing. Are you listening?
I am.
Red herrings are not good. Straw men are not good. But also this thing of jumping subject is not good either.
Okay, I'll take that as feedback, yeah.
So when you ask us for the earliest manuscript of Quran, so now you made a condition, okay? Now you made a point that for you to believe in a religion or to believe in a message from God, you have to have the original manuscript. So what I'm saying is, we have to be fair, okay? If you are going to apply that to the Quran, can you apply that to the 66 books of the Bible?
Yes, we can do.
So you have the original manuscript.
Not on me, obviously, right? Not on me. I don't have. Right, I tell you.
So you do have the original manuscript written by John.
Okay,
don't avoid the issue. Don't avoid the issue.
I'm answering.
Do you have the gospel? Do you have the first 5 books of the Bible written by Moses? Do you have them?
Right. The reason, so we have the.
Because you did quote. You did quote Genesis today.
So I'm gonna answer.
No problem. Take your time.
So the reason why I brought this up is because. First of all, I'm really worried about, so I'll try to stick to one topic, but I'm really worried about the Islamic portrayal of Jesus because I feel like it's a blasphemy towards who he is and it's false. Now, the reason why I bring up the manuscripts is because, paper perishes over time, right? This is a fact. So what I find is that when I speak to Muslims or some Muslim people doing dawah, they try to say the Bible is corrupt, they try to say that blah, blah, blah. But the reality is that also in Islam, there is no such a thing.
Are you answering my question?
So now, to answer your question, I looked it up online. You have the old sea scrolls that they've been found, and they have the Old Testament, and they've been dated from pre-Christ. And then you have various manuscripts with the New Testament from the 3rd and 4th century, such as the Codex Vaticanus.
Okay. So one point. So what you said, the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yeah.
Estimated to be written between 200 years before Jesus to 100 years after Jesus, written in this period.
It's more BC from what I see.
Okay, so even if we say 200 years before Jesus, this would mean approximately 1,100 years after Moses. So you asked us, do we have a original manuscript to the Quran? So I asked you, do you have the original 5 books which you say are written by Moses? And then as evidence, you tell me the Dead Sea Scrolls, which were written 1,100 years after Moses. According to biblical scholars, they say the Dead Sea Scrolls, it contains something from each of the Old Testament, but nothing is complete. The only book which is nearly complete is the book of Isaiah. And the book of Isaiah is still different to the Greek Septuagint, and it's different to the Masoretic text.
No, this is not what what I've seen. And again, you're changing I'm sorry.
But it's still 1,000 years after.
We're talking about the Bible.
Yeah. Don't you like talking about the Bible?
No, we are talking talking about the Bible.
Oh, sorry,
we're not
they're
talking
recording
about
if you don't mind.
When,
But because you said you asked us, do we have the original
but when
Quran?
okay,
So I
answer
thought
the
you must have the
question.
original Bible.
So I told
Yeah.
you already that we have.
You don't
various
have.
copies from the. Now, what is the earliest version that you have, full manuscript? And do you know? If you don't know, that's okay.
Okay.
I'm just wondering what, because there is this idea of the preservation of the
No
text.
problem.
What is the earliest manuscript that you have?
Okay.
Because we have books
No
from
problem.
we have full manuscripts
Yeah.
from before Muhammad. So what is the earliest manuscript that
No,
you
like
have?
okay. We have full manuscripts. If you give me a chance, I will get the names
Yeah,
on my
okay.
phone.
That's fine, yeah, fair
Yeah.
enough. I don't expect you to
No
be
problem.
in your head.
No problem. There's a book written actually in English. The Quranic manuscripts by a scholar called Muhammad al-Azmi, and he brings a list of about 30 full manuscripts of the Quran from the first Islamic century, which is way before any Christian have a full New Testament.
So from where? No, this.
Yeah.
okay, can you please show me?
Way before, as in you're saying 300 years after Jesus, 400 years after Jesus. But the thing is as well, you have to understand, we're comparing two different things.
Well, we're
Let-
comparing two things.
because
but you
the thing is-
you're here
No
to
problem.
present a picture of Jesus and you say,
No-
please be
no
above
problem.
him. We love Jesus, but you don't really love Jesus, because if you did,
Uh-huh.
you would bow down to him and submit to him as
No.
the Bible tells you to.
But he's not the creator.
He is the creator.
Uh-huh.
He is the Alpha and Omega. He's the first and the last.
No.
There is only one way to the
No.
Father, and that's through Him.
According to,
That's what
according,
the Bible says. So if you don't know who Jesus
but the thing is, you have to know. You have to
Yeah.
know. I'm going to find it. But you
Yeah.
have to know that the gospel according to John, according to biblical scholars, Christian scholars, it was written at least 70 years after Jesus.
That's not proven. And either way, I'll be honest
But-
to you.
but-
do you
but
know,
Jesus
you know
never
what?
knew
The
about
Bible,
it. Yeah.
The Bible. So first
Yeah.
of all, Jesus at the time of the Old Testament,
Yeah.
Jesus at the time that he was walking on the earth,
Never
he
knew the New
confirmed-
Testament.
No, he confirmed scripture, and that's why he was quoted as saying, "It is written." He confirmed. Sorry, just.
No problem, no problem.
Because last time I was evangelizing in central London and somebody got nearly killed next to me, so just checking.
No problem.
So at the time of Jesus,
Yeah.
we have he confirmed scripture. Now the issue is that paper perishes over time, but so you wouldn't have the manuscripts from the time of Moses. Of course you wouldn't. They would have perished. This
Okay.
is impossible. But you have but the thing is, the Bible
Yeah.
is the word of God. But that's
How do you
there is
know?
something. Right, I've discussed this with your friends many times. It's
Uh-huh.
a personal opinion at the end of the day, because you can say you're a Muslim, I'm a Christian, but
Yeah.
there is most of the world doesn't agree with you, doesn't agree with me. So we all have, the truth is one. Opinion is
Hello,
subjective,
madam.
right?
No.
But,
Some opinions are objective, but some opinions may be subjective, but the truth should be objective.
The truth is objective, and this is why when we go back to Islam,
Yeah.
objectively it is false. The crucifixion is a fact. When you look online, right?
But you're changing subjects now.
It is not changing subject. You're asking me.
But you're talking
why-
about Christianity.
Huh?
If
I came here to talk about Islam.
no, but if I answer
But you guys don't want to talk about Islam.
if
This is the
I
reality.
answer you, you're going to say
don't
I'm
wanna
talking
talk about Islam.
Okay.
If you came to that table,
what historic evidence do you have of eyewitnesses who saw Jesus being crucified?
it is written in the Bible, right? But the thing is,
I didn't ask where.
Sorry,
Madam,
What's
listen.
your name?
I didn't, Yusuf. I
Yusuf.
didn't ask where it's written. I said, what eyewitness evidence do you have?
I'm telling you, there was.
You have high evidence.
No.
See, the
So we're
funny
having
thing,
a conversation. We're having
a table on Islam.
Yeah.
But what he's doing, he keeps talking about the Bible.
You
right?
brought up the
If
subject,
no,
madam.
if you came to that table there and you ask about Christianity, they would answer you, right?
Uh-huh.
But I come in here,
Madam, but
and
you
wanna
brought up
talk
the
about
subject.
Bible
But you brought up the
because
subject.
You don't want to talk about Islam.
I'm happy to talk about
I
it.
came
You
to
brought
ask
up
you-
you brought up the issue of manuscripts,
Yeah, because I want to know.
and you put it as
tell me-
a condition to
Right.
believe in something. You need the manuscript. So I said,
It's one
okay,
of the
fine.
reasons,
So,
one of the
so I
reasons.
so I asked you for the manuscript of Genesis, and you said you don't have it. Okay. And then you brought up the crucifixion is a historical fact. So I asked you, and I told you you're going to accuse me of talking about Christianity again, but you said it's a historic fact. So I asked you, what eyewitnesses do you have?
500 people saw him crucified.
Okay,
and
who are
it is
they?
in the Bible.
Who are they? Who
It was some of the.
Paul told you.
It was some. The Bible tells me.
Okay.
But now
Okay.
you're changing subject. This is what you guys do. I asked you where is the earliest copy.
Yeah, I'm going to
of
tell
the
you.
Full Quran.
Yeah.
You're searching for it, right?
Yeah, I'm searching for it.
You're searching for it, but in the meantime, you're asking me about the Bible.
but you-
even though
you
this
brought
is,
up- you
even
brought-
though this is a table about Islam.
Madam, you asked, and I answered. Let's see.
Where is this being posted anyway?
I think YouTube.
Where? Which channel?
Unite upon Haqq, isn't it?
Huh?
Let's unite.
Sorry?
Let's unite.
What's it? What is it? United.
Okay. Okay.
What's
Madam,
your channel called?
Huh?
What's your channel?
I
He knows your
I don't
channel.
I don't have a channel. I mean I upload some things on YouTube, but I don't have a channel. I'm
Okay.
just here to share the gospel.
obviously, I'm not going to. Your question, I'm going to answer it now. Obviously, I'm not going to take the manuscripts out of my pocket, but you can look them up. I can
No,
send.
please, because I'm really interested.
So this
actually.
scholar, firstly, as Muslims, we believe the Quran is preserved in two ways. Okay, it's preserved in writing, and it's preserved in memorization. Okay. So this scholar Muhammad al-Azami, he mentions several
Can I
dozen.
write it 1 second? Sorry, so I can look it up myself. Mohammed.
Yeah, no problem.
do you spell the surname?
I can send it to you if you. Well, I don't
have
want your
to
number
swap
sent. No,
numbers.
I'll write. No. It's okay. It's okay. We won't do that.
Mohammed, can I see? Could you?
You know what it is? I'm on the page,
Okay.
and I'm worried that I go out and then I won't get reception again.
No, can you just tell me the surname? Mohammed.
Okay, Muhammad.
Yeah.
So I think it comes up as M.M. Azami.
M.M. Azani.
Yeah, A.Z.
A-Z.
A.M.I.
Okay.
And it's called Quranic Manuscripts. And you can find the PDF.
Yeah, that's fine. At least.
And he goes into.
Is it this one?
Yes.
Okay.
And let me just see. Let me just double check. Sorry. Has it? No, I think this is someone else. Go down.
Okay. Is it history of the? Do you know? Do you
Yes,
have a
that's the
pen?
one, that's the one.
Is this one the second one? The history of the Quranic text.
Let me just see. Have a click. Yes, this is. No. This is not it. This is not it.
Okay. Do you know? I'll ask my friend. He's a professor of Islamic studies. He's just there. I'll ask him after.
This is the one I pressed.
Oh, okay.
The history of the
The
Quran. I think that's the one you just said.
Oh, it is this one. The history of the Quranic
Yeah,
text.
that one.
Okay,
That's the
cool.
one I pressed on.
Yeah. Okay, I've got it now.
Okay, now I have to find the page again. So
At least I know for my own information.
no
right?
problem. But this is a very interesting book. It tells you, obviously you're going to say from the Muslim point of view, it tells you how the Quran was sent down, how it was arranged, how it was gathered in the time of Abu Bakr, how it was gathered in the time of Uthman. May Allah be pleased with them. It tells you the different variations in reading, the variation in manuscripts, the different qira'at, the different ways of reciting, the different ahruf, the Quran was revealed in 7 different dialects, and then it tells you how they were gathered. It tells you about the handwriting, it tells you about the history of Arabic language. Then it takes this information and it compares it with the Old Testament and the New Testament. But towards the end of the book, he gives a list of about 30 manuscripts which are available from the first 100 years after the death, the first century after the death of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and it tells you the manuscript, what the manuscript's called, and he tells you where the library is. You can go to it. So we have the manuscripts,
Yeah.
and we have far more manuscripts than any other book in terms of the Old Testament, the New Testament.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
your claim. I don't agree.
Yeah, it's a claim, it's
That's-
fine, but you can read in the book. And then
Yeah.
at the same time, we have the Quran memorized. Like for example, today in the world, we have hundreds of thousands of people from all ages, from all countries who memorize the Quran. Not only, most people they memorize in one dialect, but we have people, like I can show you people in London, they memorize 10 different, recitations. They memorize the 10 different recitations.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, I
No
hear
problem.
what you're saying, but to me, just memorizing something in a language that most of these people don't know, it doesn't mean anything. But I can see why, I can see your point of preservation, but
it doesn't mean
because we
anything.
have to understand.
Okay, so now you're going to show me, another book, whether religious or non-religious, where hundreds of thousands of people have memorized it.
I mean,
because it's nothing. It's nothing.
My opinion is that the
It's not
Quran-
amazing?
So
Is it not slightly amazing?
It doesn't mean anything to me because
It doesn't
I don't
mean
believe,
anything.
I don't
Yeah.
believe it's from God. So I could memorize 1,000 pages of something that is meaningless.
But the
But
point.
I'm sorry, I don't mean
no
it
problem.
offensively,
No
but you asked
problem.
for my opinion. But can I say something about the manuscripts, right?
Can
Because
I say something
yeah,
first?
finish first.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I'll tell you why it's important. Because when someone memorizes Quran, before they get given permission to teach or to recite,